Brief disclaimer, in this video, the girls are total simps while the boys are the ones who leave them questioning their life choices. Here are the top 10 romance anime where the boy rejects girl but regrets it. Let's cook. From the bottom of the pyramid, starting this list, is Blue Spring Ride. Futaba's love life is basically a textbook on why high school crushes are just as confusing as trying to read in Russian. In Ao Haru Ride, Futaba reunites with her first love, Ko, who's changed into a distant, emotionally unavailable version compared to his former self. She's still into him, of course, because why wouldn't she be? He's somewhat hot and was her first love, and we all know how that goes for females. No shade. And for Futaba, she confesses her feelings to Ko, hoping for a softer girl meets a Super Saiyan slam of rejection, leaving her in the most emotionally detached way possible. It's not that he doesn't care, he's just too caught up in his own issues to understand the girl who's clearly head over heels for him. His rejection of Futaba stings like biting into a chocolate bar only to find out it's expired. But guess what? Ko starts to regret his cold dismissal when he realizes what an absolute idiot he's been. Well, on this note, give it up for Futaba, guys. She might just be the only childhood friend who wins her man over. Following the list, up next is A Whisker Away. Now, A Whisker Away offers up some literal, emotional, and rejection transformations. Over here we have Mio Meow. Meow because she has a magical ability to do something impeccable. And no, it's not the ability to print free tickets to a Beyonce concert. Mio can turn into a cat, and she uses this power to sneak into her crush's life. When she's feeling especially bold, Mio confesses her feelings to the bro named Kento. Best believe that baby girl was expecting a, wow, I like you too, but no, nopity nope, Kento, being the emotionally clueless guy he is, rejects her. And no, it's not just any rejection. This is the type that could be framed in the Guinness World Records of rejections. Yeah, that type that makes you want to scream into a pillow and regret your existence. Bro doesn't even notice the emotional significance of her confusion, basically brushing her off like he's got 99 problems, but empathy ain't one of them. Mio, obviously crushed by this, transforms into a cat, because turning into a cat is the perfect response when you get rejected, right? However, as the story unfolds, Kento begins to feel that familiar bruise of regret. He realizes that he might have been a bit too harsh and oblivious. It's like the ultimate, oh, I should have seen this coming moment. But hey, at least he gets a chance to make up for it, right? A Whisker Away is a beautiful magical mess when they realize they pushed away someone who genuinely cared. Sliding at number 8 is My Stepmom's Daughter is My Ex. One thing about remarried parents in anime is their cluelessness to their children's lives. Of course, we've seen this trope in Domestic Girlfriend and how effed up the situation was, and yet their coconut-headed parents had no clue. Again, no shade. In this anime, we get a mutual rejection from both sides. Our protagonists, Mizuto and Yume, are living a romantic nightmare of being exes forced to live together as step-siblings. Classic, right? When Yume confesses her feelings to Mizuto after their painful breakup and sudden reunion as step-siblings,
君と付き合うことはできない。
なんで？
僕は強量な人間でさ、本気で向き合えるのはどうも一人が限度らしい。
she's met with a classic rejection even though he's secretly feeling her advances. And then again, this rejection is as smooth as getting your heart broken while you're in pajamas. We can also say that the breakfast was served at home. This show follows the duo's complicated situation and their need to consistently bant each other. I mean, it's a lot when you gotta wake up to the face of the person who always reminds you of those hidden feelings and has an attraction for getting on your nerves. It's emotionally brutal, especially since Mizuto's the one who's initiated the breakup in the first place. Of course, the plot thickens as Mizuto starts to realize that his rejection wasn't just about him protecting himself. It was also about him running away from someone who truly cared. Summing this up, the show is about two dumb idiots, emotional baggage, and a lot of thighs. Number 7 brings us a classic, Too Many Losing Heroines. Alright, hear me out, this one's a bit controversial for the list. Too Many Losing Heroines is a bit of a curveball in terms of rejection, because it's about one guy who surrounds himself with girls who've been rejected by their love interests. Bro's slogan is probably bring your broken ex so I can fix her. By that, we have Nukumizu. The only difference is that Bro doesn't get rejected by the girls who come around him. But do they get rejected and handle the situation by confiding in Nukumizu? Hell yeah! This leads to another series of events where, of course, somebody has to get dumped again. Up next, we've got White Album 2. What we got here is a rejection featuring a love triangle with many complications. And yes, we all know what happens in a love triangle. One person has to bite the dust. If we're focusing on whether bro regrets rejecting the girl's love confession, well, yeah, but does that mean they end up together? Well, no. Over here, we have the trio accomplices, Haruki, Setsuna, and Kazusa. Haruki and Kazusa are deeply in love, but with many unspoken words about their feelings. Setsuna outright confesses to him and gets rejected. His rejection of Setsuna, however, isn't out of a lack of care. He actually and genuinely respects and admires her. But then again, there's Kazusa, who acts blindly to her emotions. He cares for Setsuna, but he's unable to fully confront his own emotions and choose between the two girls. However, as the story progresses, Haruki begins to regret his decision. He realizes that his rejection caused Setsuna deep pain, and he starts to understand the weight of his actions. It's sweet, slow, and will have you in your feelings, and yeah, there's a lot of emotional baggage. Hey there, you're a 10 out of 10, and we're glad to have you here, Pookie. Animechi is not pregnant, but you know we always deliver. It's our job to always give the best topless, but how about you make us a 10 out of 10 channel by gracing us with your top-notchness when you hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks for that. Ooh. Moving on the list, Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun makes it to number 5. If you've ever had a crush on someone who has absolutely no idea how to take a hint, Monthly Girls Nozokai-kun is your anime spirit animal. Not gonna lie, Chio has to have the worst fate in the world to have a crush on a guy with zero emotional intelligence. She gets the courage to confess her feelings to Nozokai, a socially incompetent boy who is secretly a famous shoujo manga artist. So what happens? Nozokai, being the walking disaster he is, completely misunderstands the confession and thinks Chio is asking for an autograph.
It's the law now.
My mistake.
So that's out of the question. But if they still wanted to go home together with Suzuki's...
She's devastated, obviously, but instead of letting it slide, she ends up dealing with it. I mean, not giving up until Nozokai notices her feelings, even though they're the elephant in the room and Blood doesn't still see them. Nozokai's rejection isn't all that bad. It's just hilariously awkward because he doesn't even get it. And with that, we go through 12 whole episodes of Nozokai's cluelessness, even at the show's conclusion, where Chio, again, gets rejected. Sitting gloriously in 4th place is the quintessential quintuplets. In this one, the rejections come back to back like a tsunami. Futaro is assigned to tutor 5 identical quintuplets. Sounds cool, innit? Now, you'd think tutoring 5 girls would be complicated enough. But Futaro's real problem starts when one of the quintuplets confesses her feelings to him.
だから、私のことをもっと知ってほしい。私がどれだけ風太郎を好きなのか、ちゃんと知ってほしいの。
He's completely thrown off and rejects her without really thinking it through. Just when you think it's over, the love confessions come in faster than Santa's presents. And then there's our bro dodging each love arrow Cupid dares throw. The girls are devastated, obviously, because it's not just about Futaro being the guy for them. It's a matter of the heart that suddenly becomes a harem where Futaro must reject and choose one. And best believe, it does get messy. Making it to 3rd place is Love Me Not. I call this one a confusing entanglement. I mean, the characters literally give us a ball of rejection like they were taking turns. Over here, we have Yuna and Akari. They become friends by chance and eventually end up falling for each other's close buddy. Yuna falls for Akari's stepbrother Ryo, but gets a massive slap to the heart when he reveals he only has feelings for Akari. Adding to the list of complicated situations is Akari's growing feelings for Yuna's childhood friend, Inui. A lot of feelings going around, but then again, there's always rejection lurking at the corner. Akari confesses her feelings to the guy she likes, but in true anime fashion, she's met with an agonizing rejection. Inui, the guy in question, not only turns her down, but does so with such emotional coldness. Bro really did that like he handed her a rejected stamp on her massive forehead. So while everyone's getting their fair share of L's, they soon face their dark experiences. Akari has to confront her vulnerability in front of everyone around her. Ryo has to accept that maybe he can do away with incest and not crush on his sister. Inui coming clean with his true feelings for Akari, and then there's Yuna who's just happy to be there. Close to the finish line, Osamake sits comfortably in second place. I know the title can be deceiving, but rejection knocks on the door of the childhood friend in this one. The story centers around Suhara. He's love interest with one of the school's hottest girls and is so lucky because she's madly in love with him. Sadly, Suhara's head is completely elsewhere. Actually, with his crush, Kachi, who's a popular celebrity, Kuhara finally confesses her feelings in a sweet moment of bliss. But Suhara, in his emotionally stunted brilliance, rejects her. Kuhara's reaction isn't the typical, okay, I'm gonna back off response. It's as if she gets more determined to win him over through subtle teases. The emotional toll on Kuhara is obvious, but Suhara's failure to recognize the significance of her feelings only leads to more regret. As he starts to realize what he's done, it's the kind of regret that grips him like a bad Wi-Fi connection you can't fix. Sadly, that's when Kuhara's revenge begins, and boy does it get better. Finally, at the top of the pyramid is My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999. The rejection here is a bit complicated, as our protagonist Akane gets dumped by her gamer boyfriend as a special package. The only difference is that she's trying to make him regret what he lost, but on her own terms. Does bro regret this? We don't stay long enough to find out, and honestly, we don't care. Recovering from a brutal breakup, she pours her emotional energy into a game where she meets Yamada-kun, a boring, disinterested gamer who clearly has no interest in her. At some point, I had to wonder what it was with this baby girl and getting her heart broken by gamer bro. And when she finally decides to confess her feelings, Yamada hits her with the thanks but no thanks rejection of the century. He doesn't reject her outright, but he does nothing to make her feel special while dismissing her feelings like they're just another side quest in a video game. He's cold and indifferent, and honestly, it's the type of rejection that makes you want to throw your game controller at the screen. However, as the story unfolds, Akane is forced to come to terms with her feelings for a guy who, at first, doesn't seem to care. And yeah, we do get something really exciting on a drunken night, and finally, with a mutual love confession.
山田って私のこと好きなの？
好きです。
That's a wrap, weebs, and thank you for sticking around. Tell us in the comments if you agree with this list and which anime should have made the ranks. You made it this far, so don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon